Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us at the TeenLife Live Gap Year Fair. We're going to take just a second here to let everyone roll in, and then we'll get things underway. We're so glad you could join us. All right, we got some people coming in, and I'm sure more will join us, maybe coming from the first session as well. Welcome again to the TeenLife Live Gap Year Fair. We've got 6 great programs here to present to you this evening. A reminder, your camera and your microphone are turned off, but you are free to ask any and all questions you may have about our presenters tonight and their programs in the question and answer tab at the bottom of your screen or in the chat. And representatives from all programs are there and ready and willing to answer any questions that you might have. And again, following the presentations, there'll be just a short Q&A where you'll have the opportunity to learn just a little bit more about all the GAP programs featured here tonight. So we encourage you to stick around to the end for that. Now, though, it is my pleasure to introduce Marie Schwartz, the founder and CEO of TeenLife.
Hi, everyone. This is Marie Schwartz. As Jonathan said, this is our first virtual GAP fair of this academic year. We're really committed to helping GAP programs find students who are interested in taking this amazing experience. I'm going to share, this is a vision or a screenshot of our newly launched website that we just rolled out a couple of months ago. And in here, we have over 600 GAP programs that you could browse and look for using multiple filters on the left-hand side. We also have a wonderful GAP guide, which will be updated at the end of this year. And those of you who have not yet signed up to be TeenLife members will start receiving our emails, which will include the 2022 guide to GAP year programs before the end of the year. So thank you so much for joining. I encourage you to ask questions and engage. This is a really great experience that students will remember for the rest of their lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Marie. Without any further ado, I'd like to pass it on to our first presenter of the evening, Ingenuity Year. Oh, muted.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to share my screen with everyone. My name is Jamie Feynman. I am actually the Director of Admission at Foreman School. And Foreman School is the school that is running this new initiative of ours called Ingenuity Year. It's our new GAP year programming. So I just want to give you a little history on Foreman real quick. We are a co-ed boarding school located in Litchfield, Connecticut. We have been serving since 1930 bright students who learn differently. John Foreman actually knew Albert Einstein from Princeton, and we have had the same mission since the very beginning. So Albert Einstein sat in our original board of directors. He was part of our original science curriculum, and he and John Foreman shared a vision that it is possible to be both brilliant, and it is suspected that Einstein was dyslexic. So it's possible to be both brilliant and to learn differently and to not fit into the cookie cutter mold of school. And that is the foundation of Foreman School and who we are. And we are taking that expertise that we have had for about almost 100 years now, working with kids who learn differently, and bringing that to our Gap Year program. So Ingenuity Year, our upcoming program, is really going to focus on climate change in coastal Maine. And this program is really meant to be experiential in nature. We know from having worked with kids who learn differently for a very long time that it is everybody learns best, but especially kids who learn differently with ADHD or dyslexia, something like that. Having hands-on, an opportunity to get out of the classroom, do work, reconnect with some joy and spark and figure out what motivates you is essential to growing. So the program is going to focus on personal growth on the large scale, and we're going to do that by exploring climate change. So with climate change, it's one of the most pressing issues of our time. It's global and it affects everybody. So our plan is to look at this global phenomenon through the lens of coastal Maine. It is a ripe and unique area to do this kind of investigation because right now there's actually tons of changes happening right in the Gulf of Maine, where waters are actually warming 99% faster than the rest of the ocean. So it is a great place to actually get into the experience of it, to see, feel, taste, and experience what climate change is doing to an entire community. So this program is really going to focus on first the foundations, the global context of climate change, what that looks like in the context of the state of Maine, and start to explore some key points, essential questions that the program will come back to throughout the 10 weeks. And then it's really going to start focusing on doing that through looking at the challenges facing communities. So looking at the lobstering industry, the fishing industry, et cetera, and understanding what this looks like. So for example, like the lobstering industry, the warming waters of Maine have been amazing for the lobster production. Lobsters have exploded, lobstermen are doing super well, and they're getting record amounts of lobsters, but at the same time, market prices are lower than they've ever been, and the cost of bait has exploded. So there's a real economic issue here, there's a community issue here, and at the end of the day, these communities are not making much more money. And if the water continues to warm, we're looking at the potential collapse of the entire industry. And so our students are going to be exploring, looking at what this is going to do on every level, from community to the science of the climate, to the water, to the economics of it, and how that affects everybody. And so one of the ways that we're going to be doing this is by looking at and having these direct experiences through a variety of different projects and partnerships that we have. So our students are going to be looking at lobster pots, softshell clam research, weather station research, tidal marsh restoration, doing a jellyfish survey, and a biological survey. And along the way, they're going to learn how to do surveys and field work and get skills in those areas. And then this data is actually going to be part of an ongoing research project with our partners. So these are partners who are working on climate change research now, studying things like marsh restoration through the Kennebuck Estuary Land Trust, and all of these different partners working in this research. So all of our students' hard work is going to go into real climate change research. And on the personal growth side, the program is really going to help you explore who are you as a person and who are you as a learner. So what are your passions? What do you want to get excited about? This is an opportunity to figure out what makes you tick, to kind of get away from the noise of real life and society and social media. Being in coastal Maine, you have low cell service, but it's fine. You'll make it through. And you'll also start to understand yourself as a learner. So one of the things at Forman is that we talk very openly about our learning differences, whether it's dyslexia or ADHD, but we also realize there's plenty of students. It's not a requirement that you have an official diagnosis for this program. There also are plenty of students who just may feel like school was never a great fit. It wasn't a perfect experience for them. So we're going to work on learning how to use assistive technology, how to get some executive function coaching guidance, how to figure out who you are as a learner and what types of opportunities are available to you in the real world that you can take with you when you make your next steps after gap year programming, and take those with you to college. So our students are going to work on research projects, capstone projects, and they're going to be doing all of this while gaining some insight into the way that they learn, which is a lot. I'm going as fast as I can. And then the last but not least, I know my time is wrapping up. I want to give you some program details and what that looks like. So the gap year programming for us for the Ingenuity Year is 10 weeks. Right now it's focused on climate change and global climate change in coastal Maine, and eventually we'll expand to more programs. But the dates right now for spring are March 15th to May 24th. Our fall program is in September. We are taking about 15 students ages 17 to 21. We will have executive function coaches and student leaders. And I am standing in for our director, Kai Johnson, but I put his contact details up here. We'd both be very happy to talk to you more about any questions that you have. And we hope we will get the chance to do that. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks so much, Jamie. We know all of our presenters this evening could probably talk about their program for the whole night. So we encourage all of our attendees to ask questions or reach out to these presenters by email, and to further your exploration of these programs should you be interested in them. Our second presenter of the night is going to be Praxis.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much, Jonathan. I'm excited to be here for you. I'm Mitchell Earl. I'm the COO of Praxis. Praxis is a year-long apprenticeship program for entrepreneurial young adults who want more than the traditional college experience. It is a year-long apprenticeship program that helps you build skills, helps you explore different career paths, and then ultimately helps you go land your first professional job, all without the cost or hassle of college. Most of our young adults are apprentices. They're coming right out of high school. They're trying college and dropping out because it wasn't really the right experience for them, or they graduated from college. They still haven't quite found their thing. Our goal is to help you undergo a process of career discovery to see what actually fits, what career paths are out there that are interesting for you, but also help you figure out what skills you need, what gaps need to be filled in order to help you go land your first professional opportunity, and then ultimately guide you through a process of getting to know other businesses, different industries, and actually ultimately going and landing your first professional opportunity. That's where the real fun of the program begins. In month 7, our apprentices are beginning their new full-time positions. Our team is there along the way for the first 6 months on the job, so you make a successful transition into the real world. The best part about the program is, I consistently hear this from our alumni, is the community itself. The entire program is built around the community experience. You're going to not only build skills, land a first professional opportunity, but you're also going to do that alongside a cohort of peers who are similarly ambitious along the same lines. These are going to be, people that develop lifelong friendships with, many times lifelong professional connections. Consistently hear from our alumni that community is one of their favorite parts of the program, especially if they're choosing Praxis as an alternative to college. One quick point here, as far as the program goes, compared to traditional college, our program is not only much quicker, but the cost itself is wildly different. I know college isn't necessarily the right fit for everyone. So if you're looking for a gap year that leads directly into real world experience, that's where our program can be a great fit. You end up earning more than the cost of the program before you graduate. And on average, our apprentices, 93% of them are graduating the program with full-time jobs, averaging around $50,000 in terms of their starting incomes. Many of them are 18 years old too, so pretty good for the average teenager. I am going to drop a few links into the chat here for everyone to check out on your own time. I know that we don't have a ton of time this evening, but if you are interested in learning more about the program itself, I have we have another workshop tomorrow morning. If you want to tune in live, or there's also the option to tune into a comprehensive free workshop on our website. You can check that out there. Answers most of the questions, but kind of the quick details here. We launch cohorts on a monthly basis year round. Those are capped at 15 apprentices per cohort. So you're going to get a ton of one-on-one time with our coaches. You're going to get a lot of face time with your peers, and also a lot of our expert guests that we're bringing in. Ultimately, the goal of the program is to help you discover and do what makes you come alive. But if you ever do have any other questions as you explore your options, feel free to reach out to the team. You can find our contact information on the website. And thanks for sharing some of your evening with us.
Thank you so much, Mitchell. Our next presenter is going to be Amigos.
Oh, hi, everybody. Thanks so much. Let me just share my screen real quick. All right, so I'm here to talk about our upcoming GAP program. Really going to be focusing on our fall 2022 GAP program in Ecuador, because that is when we are very excited to return to what is our traditional programming model. And, a little bit about Amigos. We believe that we provide sort of transformational gap year experiences by providing students with a lot of independence, but also the tools to become more confident, more culturally competent, and generally more active in their home communities. I'm going to get into a little bit about how that plays out in our Ecuador program. So the traditional model is essentially a model in which you are able to experience sort of something that you're passionate about, get it hands-on sort of internship experience in a topic that you really care about, scaffolded with kind of excursions, workshops, and then all while having a really deeply immersive cultural exchange experience by living with a host family. We really kind of believe that we want you to invest in something that you care about before you get into college or your career, just to kind of know if that's a good fit for you. And what better place to do that than Ecuador. So a little bit of an overview of our program. It is 15 weeks long. It starts out with 1 week of orientation. That is where you are going to be all together with the cohort or the group in kind of an orientation around the program. You will then sort of transition into your host family stay, during which you will have 4 weeks of sort of intensive Spanish classes to really improve your Spanish language skills, as well as a 12-week internship program in an internship that you'll like be part of selecting. So I'm going to go a little bit in more detail about these program components. So the in-country orientation is basically a moment for you to sort of dive into like what are the components of this program, understand the location and place you're at, and kind of generally build a group dynamic with your other program participants. It's also the first time you're going to be meeting the partner agency that you're going to be interning with, as well as the host family that you're going to be spending time with. And then that first week is also when your Spanish classes sort of kick off. There's going to be 4 hours of Spanish classes daily. And for the first 2 weeks, it's going to be sort of the in-country orientation plus Spanish classes. And then sort of for the second 2 weeks of the Spanish classes, you have sort of half getting into your internship and half Spanish classes. Apart from that, sort of the excursions are really varied, right? We go to the coast, we go to the highlands, we go to the rainforest in Ecuador. And Ecuador really has a lot of like varied terrain and locations for us to go and visit. The last of these excursions is really sort of at the end of the program. And that is where you'll be kind of debriefing your experience, reflecting and getting kind of closure and sort of thinking about what your next step is. We also have sort of monthly workshops where we bring in experts, Amigos staff to talk about a bunch of different topics around, you know, indigenous food rights, cultural, specific history of the location, different sort of like aspects of where you're at and what you're working on. But then really kind of the heart of our program is in the cultural exchange and meaningful sort of experience and relationships that you build with your host family, as well as the internship that you are sort of opting into. Now, the internship is of your choosing. And so kind of to give you a little bit of a context of like the types of internships that you can work on. We have sort of art and culture, entrepreneurship, environmental sustainability, education, technology and design, and even more than that. But just again, to give you a little context on what those look like and what that process is. Once you sign up for the program, we sort of start to investigate what are your interests, what are you passionate about, and then we work to partner you with a partner organization in Cuenca, Ecuador, where you'll be located. And here are some examples of the types of internships that past participants have done. So, supporting female entrepreneurs, working in a sort of small nonprofit design field, coaching youth sports, anything kind of in between. And really like what the main point for us is that you are going to be immersing yourself with a family and also immersing yourself in an organization that's doing really good things in the community. So we sort of are inviting you to come step out of your comfort zone, join us in the fall of 2020. And I'm just going to drop a link to our program page in the chat. So feel free to check that out on your own time. And thank you all so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Alex. I will remind anyone who may just be joining us this evening that this entire session is being recorded, as was our first session at 6 p.m. Eastern. And anyone who's registered will be receiving those recordings sometime tomorrow. So if you want to go back and look at anything or you missed a couple of the presenters at the beginning, we encourage you to do so. Our next presenter is EF Gap Year.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thanks for having me. I'm going to share my screen here. Hopefully that is working well now. All right. Awesome. So welcome. My name is Will. I'm very excited to talk to you about EF Gap Year and what we do here. So first, some quick context on EF. So this is our North American headquarters here. This is where I'm sitting right now, actually. We are the educational partner for thousands of high schools and colleges in the US. Many of you may know us from that. We may run trips in your school. We have a lot of experience in the travel industry. We've been doing this for over 55 years. And we like to say that we're globally local. So basically, anywhere you go, you'll see an EF school or office there. For EF Gap Year, so a subset of EF, we run cohort-based programs. We offer a diversity of destinations and experiences within those programs, and we design it all for you. They're tailored to meet your goals and what you want to do. So we like to say that this is really the chance to make this your year. We have 3 different structures for our programs that can help you do that. So I'm going to talk through our gap year really quickly, because our semester and our short-term programs are really just shorter versions of this same full year experience. And so seeing the year will give you a sense of what sort of programs we can do. So this is our full gap year program. So it's 25 weeks. You earn 9 college credits. It starts with an orientation where I am now in our Boston headquarters. From there, it goes into a 2-week European tour. So from that, you then go into their first custom module where you spend 6 weeks at an EF language school. You then go and join a different group of EF gappers on a 6-week service learning program where we work with nonprofits and NGOs to help them with the work that they are already doing and work to connect it back to learning about the UN Sustainable Development Goals. After that, you have a winter break to come home. And from there, you meet back up with your full cohort for 3 weeks exploring Australia and New Zealand with a local EF guide. And your last custom module is a 6-week internship before you finally end at our Leadership Academy, which takes place outside London. So to show you a little bit more of what this actually looks like, here are just a few shots from our orientation this past September. We had about 150 students here on our campus, getting to bond together and learning a little bit more about what they're about to go do, and also just how to stay balanced while traveling, how to stay safe while traveling, and how to really make the most of their year. From that point, they went on to their European immersion. So this is their 2-week European tour. Next year's program, this tour is going to go to London, Amsterdam, and Barcelona. So it's a great way to bond as a group and just get used to traveling abroad. After that, you'll go to an EF language school. This is very different from most high school language classes. We have students from all over the world coming to learn languages and live like a local in places like Barcelona, Paris, or Rome. You can do a homestay or stay in the EF dorm, and you really focus on having good conversations while you're there. And you have the weekends free to explore other cities on your own. That's a photo of our Paris school right there on the top left. From there, you move into 6 weeks doing service. So you'll see the UN Sustainable Development Goals in action. You'll work with local nonprofits and NGOs in places like Costa Rica and Thailand. This photo on the top here is from students teaching English just last week in the Dominican Republic. You can actually follow our Instagram story this week at EF Gap Year to see what students are doing in Costa Rica. So after your 6-week service learning and your winter break at home, visiting Australia and New Zealand, you'll then have the chance to do an internship. So many of our semester students just started their internships. And when you do this with us, we work with you to build your resume, get interviews, and get internships in cities like Berlin, Dublin, and Tokyo. From there, you end your experience at Leadership Academy. So this takes place in Holt Ashridge Executive Education. That's the castle you see down on the list there. If it looks like Harry Potter, that's because Disney actually went, saw some shots of the castle, and made Hogwarts look like some pieces of Ashridge. So the moving staircase room, you'll see something just like that in Ashridge. It's an amazing place. Companies like Google send their employees there for leadership and management training, and that's where you get to end your experience to really wrap up everything, talk about the skills you've gained and how you can take them into your career in college going forward. So all of our programs, all of that, we want to make it easy for you. So we include flights, accommodations, your activities, your support, a lot of your meals. For our 3 different buckets, we have our gap year programs, which are 25 weeks at $38,500, Semesters are around 18,000 and short-term programs are typically around 8,000. I know I just listed a lot of travel places, so I do want to just quickly mention that we give you the flexibility if something shouldn't be able to happen to rebook to a different itinerary that we'll craft just for you, or to get a full refund. We do precautions on the ground. We go to everywhere before you get there and make sure that they're being safe. And should anything happen, we take care of all the costs and logistics associated with anything like quarantining, quickly how to make it happen. Talk to us. We will create a custom program designed for your goals. You lock in your spot with a deposit and then begin working with a program advisor. Quick dates coming up. We're doing these consultations now. Alumni night, December 8th. December 31st is our early action deadline to enroll for deferral guarantee. And you can scan this code if you want to be linked to our calendar to talk to us soon. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jonathan. Thanks, TeenLife, and thanks everybody for coming.
Thank you so much, Will. Really appreciate it. Our next presenter is Carpe Diem Education.
Okay, thank you all. Let me just share my screen here. Oh man, I was share. Okay, I am a last minute addition to this right here, and I know a lot about the organization, but less about technology. So hopefully I'll get this working. Can you all see the presentation?
Looks great.
Great. Okay. Anyway, my name is Hansel Woods. I am the scholarship director for Carpe Diem Education. Carpe Diem Education offers semester programs and year-long programs for students between the age of 17 and 22. Our programs are offered in 9 different locations all around the world, and all our programs are experiential education focused. We focus on community engagement, intercultural exchange, personal growth, and reflection. And we go in small groups of up to 13 students with 2 leaders. Due to the pandemic, we're not currently running all of our programs that we used to run, but we are hoping to continue to add back some of the programs that we used to be running. This spring, we will be offering 3 different programs in Central America, Italy and Greece and Hawaii. We will run those all again next year. We are an accredited gap year organization. We are also a certified B Corporation. If you don't know what that means, it's a benefit corporation. So it's sort of like a social business. So this is where we are traveling and plan to travel next year. Southeast Asia, South Pacific, Italy and Greece, Central America, and Hawaii. And each of our semesters have different themes associated with them. In each of our programs, you'll do a whole bunch of different things, but the main sort of service learning projects on each of those programs will be under this theme. So in Southeast Asia, it's human rights and cultural exchange. In the South Pacific, it's leadership and environmental conservation. Italy and Greece is climate change, resilience, and regeneration. Central America, sustainability and Spanish immersion. And in Hawaii, it's environmental connection and adventure. There's a couple pictures there of some of our students in Central America, in Hawaii, and obviously the last one is in Greece. So our Central America program is a great one that for students that are really interested in outdoor activities. There's obviously scuba diving involved in our program, lots of rafting, hiking, swimming, and more, and a lot of environmental sustainability. Sorry. Oh, I guess I just have to tell you about them. Central America program is Hawaii program is based in Maui in the Big Island, and it's really way off the beaten path. So not the typical places that you go to on a family vacation in Hawaii. You get to work with some of the indigenous population there. And it's really for students who are interested in outdoor activities, intentional cultural exploration, and hands-on conservation projects. So Carpe Diem is not your typical program. It is not easy, and it is not a tour. It is certainly not a vacation. It's not an opportunity to hang out at the beach, although we do go to a lot of beaches. So you do actually get to hang out at the beach sometimes. But that's not the full program. And if that's what you're signing up for, please don't come to Carpe Diem. And we're not a therapeutic program. But we are a really fun program that's designed to challenge you, get you out of your comfort zone, and help you learn more about the world. An opportunity to learn a lot of travel skills. Our students go on from our programs and we hear from them. They've been like gallivanting around the world and doing a lot of travel on their own. So we sort of set you up for that. They're sort of rugged programs at times. Sometimes, for example, the Hawaii program, you'd be spending a lot of time in tents, They are very focused on cultural immersion and going deeper. They are structured experiences, so they will have quite a bit of independence on different things, but you will mostly be with the group during the semester program. And they are fun and fast paced. Every day is going to be a little bit different, so I can't give you an example of a typical day, but you might spend the day working on a project doing sustainability in the morning and then trekking up a beautiful mountain in the evening for the sunset, or working on a traditional art or craft with a local expert, or going to a soccer game with a host family. Everything's very different all the time. Evenings are generally pretty relaxed. You usually enjoy having dinner with your group. You might cook it all together as a group, or you might be in a homestay family and cooking with a community. And so we're still slowly putting homestays back into our itineraries as we have more of our homestay families that are vaccinated and able to sort of safely have students in their homes. Carpe Diem is different. Earlier, I mentioned that we are accredited and we're also a B Corporation. We're very committed to access. We have a big scholarship program, which is why I am the scholarship director. We gave over $160,000 per year of tuition to our nonprofit partner, Carpe Mundi. And we also have a scholarship program for students that are applying for all over the country. We have access to college credit. You can earn up to 18 credits through Portland State University. So that's a full year of credits if you are, that's per semester. So if you do the year-long program, you can get a full year of college credit. So it can sort of be like an alternative freshman year instead of a gap, because it may not slow you down. And then also we are experts at risk management. We've been around, we're one of the oldest running gap year programs. All of our staff is wilderness first responders. We have major risk management trainings, and we've got an on-call doc and mental health professional. So we are around, we are here to help you, and we know what we're doing. Our programs, again, as we are focused on access, there's a bit of a range, and we try to make them as affordable as possible. So our semesters range from 11.9 to 16.4, and then you can see for the latitudes year, 21.7 to 26 to 75. That includes for the latitude years a full year of college tuition. So it seems like a lot of money, and it definitely is a huge investment in your education and your future. But if you take the college credit option and you're comparing that to the cost of in-state tuition or even out-of-state tuition at other institutions, it is can be actually way more affordable than a full year of college on a campus. So it does include all your food, all the activities, accommodations, international travel insurance. So the only thing that really needs to come out of here is airfare that's not included. So anyway, if you have any more questions, this is my friend James, his email address. You can definitely email him, and please look us up, call us if you have any questions, or find us online. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Our final presenter this evening is going to be Lee from Alzar Gap. You're still muted, Lee.
All righty, there we go. All right, thanks, Jonathan. So my name is Lee Neal, and I'm the director of Alzar Gap. And my career has taken me all over the world in the last 13 years, working primarily as an educator, a river and climbing guide, a gap year instructor, and as the director of student life at a small boarding school. And I'm really excited to tell you about Alzar Gap. So Alzar Gap takes our participants through the beautiful peaks of Patagonia, Chile, and through the rivers and mountains of the American West. We offer 3 unique programs to fit participants' interests and schedules. And Alzar has been running programs since 2004, and we're really looking forward to welcoming our next cohort of adventurers in 2022 and 23. So we'll first start with the Patagonia Exchange program. And to start, Alzar has been running programs in Chile since 2007. And with this long-standing history, we are thrilled to offer this cultural exchange opportunity to our GAP students. The Patagonia Exchange program allows you to find your place in a diverse and globalized world as you backpack and paddle through the beautiful Patagonian landscapes and connect with locals while living at our beautiful Patagonia campus and with Chilean families during homestay experiences. Next, we'll take a look at the Wild and Scenic program. The Wild and Scenic program focuses on outdoor adventure and leadership training as you explore the American West. And during the semester, you'll go from skiing the slopes of Idaho to backpacking the canyon lands of Oregon to paddling the rivers of California. During this program, you'll earn industry recognized certifications and learn necessary skills to plan your own epic adventures or work in the ski, whitewater, or outdoor industry. And last but not least, we'll take a look at the Western Whitewater program, which focuses on paddling the world-renowned whitewater found out in the American West. If you're interested in working as a guide in the whitewater industry, or just interested in spending your summer paddling some of the best whitewater in the Pacific Northwest, then this program is for you. Each of our 3 programs are designed to allow you to discover new interests and passions under the mentorship of inspiring program instructors and local community leaders. You can expect to learn about critical global and local issues, gain insight into another culture, and find a new sense of confidence on our programs. Our teams of highly skilled instructors and local partners will guide you through multi-day backpacking, rafting, skiing, and whitewater kayaking experiences, while you learn the skills to plan your own exciting adventures around the world. But you don't need to come to us with any experience. We would love to teach you. Each program is a mix of students with varying experience levels in the outdoors. Our groups are kept intentionally small, typically between 6 to 12 students, so that we lessen our environmental impact, allow for authentic leadership opportunities, and create authentic connections. Every student has a hand in creating unique and positive communities that are supportive and uplifting, and the friendships that our students make on our GAP programs are really like no other. We really want to teach you tangible leadership skills so that you can use this knowledge to become a leader in your professional and personal life. With the help of our instructors, you'll help plan the itinerary, develop your own leadership style, discuss different decision-making models, and really contribute to this once-in-a-lifetime adventure. Participants will have the opportunity to meet and work alongside hand-picked community leaders that have created NGOs, eco-businesses, and community action groups in Chile and the American West. We not only want you to walk away with a love of wild spaces, but we also want to show you how you can take care of the environments that we travel through. And we do this by practicing responsible travel and connecting you with leaders that are making a difference through environmentally focused activism and initiatives in Chile and the American West. And cultural exchange is at the heart of the Alzar Gap mission. We create opportunities where you can reach across borders, feel the power of human connection, and appreciate the beauty of diversity. We not only set up opportunities for authentic cultural immersion, such as homestays during our Patagonia Exchange program, but also bring together groups of participants from a wide range of backgrounds, lifestyles, and a variety of viewpoints during each of our programs. So again, here's our 3 programs. Feel free to go to alzargap.org to find more information about each program. We're currently accepting applications for all 3 of our programs. And because each of our programs varies in length, location, and the use of resources, they each come in at different price points ranging from $8,000 to $17,000. However, I do want to stress we have financial aid and scholarships available for all of our programs. So you can apply today through our online application, which can be found at alzargap.org. We have limited spaces, so encourage you to come learn more and act fast. Look forward to hearing from everybody, and thank you, TeenLife. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you so much, Lee. Really appreciate it. I'd like to invite all of our presenters back on screen real quick. We're going to sort of get a final word from everybody. I think a couple of our presenters had to drop off, so if you have any questions for them, feel free to reach out to the contact info that they provided. I'm going to ask everyone who we have here. I know everyone sort of touched on it to a certain degree, But I want to ask you all, and we'll answer in the order that we presented it. What does a typical student in your program look like? What are sort of the qualities of the students who are drawn to your program, and what do the students that come to your program have in common? So we're going to start with Ingenuity Year.
Thanks, Jonathan. The students who are drawn to Ingenuity Year are universally students who have felt like maybe school was not the easiest thing for them, or not something where they felt like they fit the cookie cutter mold, and they're looking for something a little bit different. So students who are focused on experiential learning, or really excited about figuring out who they are as a learner, and maybe they have a diagnosed LD or ADHD, or maybe not, maybe school just didn't fit, and so they're looking to try something a little bit different. And of course, for this program, students who are really passionate about studying climate change.
Great. I think we'll be moving to Will next. We're missing our presenters in between you. So what does a typical student at EF Gap Year look like?
Yeah, it's a great question, because I think it's hard to name a typical one. I think students come to us looking to just learn more about the world generally. A lot of students, whether they've traveled before or not, they want to see more of the world because they know there's more out there. They want to learn more about themselves because they know there's more in there too. There's more that they can just develop personally, and they want to find their place in the world and be able to figure out how they fit in and how to chart their path forward. So learning more about the world, learning more about yourself is really the focus of what we do. I would say almost all of our students are college bound. They're typically already, they're applying to colleges now. Where they're going, there's a huge range. We have our sort of most common schools. We have bigger sort of state schools like U Miami and BU and CU Boulder are big ones, and smaller private schools. Duke, Harvard are some of our biggest ones. So I would say those are probably some typical things, but again, it's hard to name typical. It's just that sort of curiosity and desire to get out there that I think I see in all of our students.
Fantastic. Moving to Carpe Diem Education, Hansel, what does a typical student in your program look like?
Again, that's hard to answer because we have a tremendous variety, but I think it's people that just want to do something in a new way, that want to learn kinesthetically by going out there and having conversations. We do offer college credit, but the learning experiences are in having the conversation with the person next to you on the bus. And, you never really know where the big learning will come, and the understanding of culture doesn't really happen in a classroom. Instead, that happens, over time, meeting people and through, learning a language and making mistakes in learning that language, and actually that, and a little bit of laughter and how that opens doors. So I would say that there are sort of two camps of students. There's the students that don't really know what they want to study in college or exactly where they want to go, and they want to get out and try on a whole bunch of things and kind of see if they can find that inspiration or what that passion might be to follow. And then there's the other students that know where they want to go. Maybe they want to go direct to med school or something like that, but they want a chance to get out of the classroom that they've been sitting in for the last 13 years and to learn in a different way before they have to go back in the classroom for another 4 to 8 years. Because this is their chance to learn and to kind of gain perspective in a new way about themselves, and then just about the world in general.
I saw everyone nodding as you were talking. This is something that came up in our first session, but I think just the gap year space in general is something that, it's for students who maybe haven't quite found what they're looking for in their traditional education, whether that be secondary school or higher education. And I think all of our programs this evening have sort of exhibited that. Lee, lastly, what kind of students are you looking at, or do you see coming to Alzar Gap?
Yeah, I think the word adventurous and the word intrepid comes to mind. Students that are excited about small group travel, cultural exchange, certainly wilderness-based adventures, and really building leadership skills and kind of finding out what leadership means to them, and really doing something different with their educational path and stepping outside of their comfort zones.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that answer. Thank you all for your wonderful answers and for your wonderful presentations. I'd like to thank you all again for joining us. And I'd like to thank all of our attendees for joining us this evening, whether you were at both sessions or just this one. I will remind you that both were recorded and both will be sent out to you sometime tomorrow, so you can revisit them and reach out to these programs should you want to learn more about them. So thanks again, everyone. Have a great rest of your night.
Thanks, everyone.